I am the law, and you won't fuck around no more. I judge the rich, I judge the poor. Commit a crime, I lock the door. That's because you know I am the law. In the cursed earth where the mutants dwell, there is no law, it's just a living hell. Anarchy and chaos as the blood runs red. But this would change if it was up to dread. The book of law is the Bible to him, and any crime committed is a sin. He keeps the peace with his lawgiver. He's judge, jury, and executioner. Drop it. Crime, the ultimate sin. Yeah, Ice Cube is waiting when he brings it in. Law is what he stands for. Crime's his only enemy. He's going to war. Drop it. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Unrelenting Alchemist, all spiritual all the time. Today's topic is Siddhartha Gautama, the life, the teachings, the enduring wisdom of the Buddha himself. Siddhartha Gautama, more widely known as the Buddha, stands among the most influential spiritual figures in world history. As the founder of Buddhism, his life and his teachings have inspired billions and continue to shape ethical thought, meditation, practices, and the philosophies that help us become free from suffering. Around the 6th or 5th century BCE, his transformation from a sheltered prince to a wandering ascetic and enlightened teacher embodies a profound spiritual journey. We're going to look at key dimensions of the Buddha's life, his royal birth, his upbringing, his existential crisis that catalyzed his quest, his enlightenment and teachings, and the lessons that his life offers to seekers today. Siddhartha Gautama was born in Lumbini in modern-day Nepal around 563 BCE, although some sources place it closer to 460 BCE. His father was an elected leader, but a king of the Shakya clan, and his mother was Queen Maya, a Kalian princess. According to the Buddhist tradition, Queen Maya had a remarkable dream in which a white elephant had entered her side, a symbolic omen of the divine and extraordinary nature of a child she would bear. She gave birth to Siddhartha in a Lumbini grove while on her way to her parental home, standing and holding a tree branch, a posture often depicted in Buddhist art. Tragically, Queen Maya died 7 days after giving birth. Siddhartha was raised by his maternal aunt, Mahaprajati Gautami, who became the first ordained woman in Buddhist monastic tradition. His early life was shaped by privilege, protection, and a destiny that was foretold by many sages. In fact, his father did not wish it to be so. The sages and astrologers had predicted he would become either a great monarch or a great spiritual teacher. One ascetic, Asita, wept upon seeing the child, not out of sadness, but because he realized he would not live long enough to witness the boy's awakening and the things that he would bring to this world. His father, King Suddhodana, was fearful that his son would renounce the world, and he sought to prevent any spiritual inclination in his son. Siddhartha was raised in 3 palaces, one for each season, and surrounded by luxury, pleasure, music, and beauty. He was deliberately shielded from suffering and pain. According to the Pali Canon and later texts, Siddhartha was married to Princess Yasodhara and had a son named Rahula. But despite his material surroundings, Siddhartha exhibited an introspective and gentle disposition. Though skilled in martial arts and educated in the arts and sciences of his time, he was never entirely content with his sheltered palace life. 4 passing sights would come to pass. Siddhartha's turning point came in his late 20s when he ventured outside the palace grounds for the very first time. These excursions were legendary in Buddhist lore and represent the first cracks in the illusion of permanence. He encountered what are known as the 4 passing sights: an old man revealing the inevitability of aging and death, a sick man showing the reality of illness, a dead man confronting him with mortality, a wandering ascetic inspiring hope that liberation from suffering was indeed possible. These encounters shocked Siddhartha, and they shattered his idealistic view of the world. For the first time, he saw that no wealth or power could protect one from decay, from disease, and from death. A deep existential crisis followed. What is the purpose of life if it ends in suffering. That night, Siddhartha kissed his sleeping wife and his son goodbye, and he rode off on his horse Kantaka with his servant Chana. This moment, known as the Great Renunciation, marks his departure from royal life in search of truth. Thus began the quest for enlightenment. Siddhartha first sought out renowned teachers such as Alara Kayama and Udaka Ramaputta, learning meditation techniques and entering deep states of consciousness. Through these teachings, he mastered and he rose to great heights, but he did not feel permanent liberation. It seemed only temporary and insufficient for him. He practiced austereness in the forest. For 6 years he fasted, he held his breath, he punished his body in an attempt to transcend the self. His body wasted away to skin and bones, yet in his extremity he realized that such practices only weakened the body and clouded the mind. One day he accepted a simple meal of rice and milk from a young village girl named Sujata. This act symbolized his embrace of the middle way, a path between self-indulgence and self-mortification. It was not the abandonment of effort, but it was a rejection of extremism. And so he gained enlightenment soon enough. Under the Bodhi tree, having regained his strength near Bodh Gaya, he vowed not to rise until he had obtained his full awakening. That fateful night, he entered progressively deeper states of meditation. He recalled his past lives. He understood the workings of karma and rebirth. He perceived the Four Noble Truths. He was confronted by Mara, the embodiment of desire and illusion, who tempted him with visions, fear, and self-doubt, but Siddhartha remained unmoved. As dawn broke, he achieved nirvana, the cessation of craving, of ignorance and suffering. From that moment forward, he was known as the Buddha, the Awakened One. His first sermon helped to spread Dharma. After his enlightenment, the Buddha debated whether to teach at all. The truth he had discovered was subtle and profound, but he was moved by compassion and decided to share the Dharma, the truth, for all beings to have the benefit. His first sermon, known as the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the setting of the wheel of Dharma in motion, was discovered to be enlightening as he delivered it to Deer Park residents in the area of Sarnath. And so he spoke of the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. Dukkha, life contains suffering. Samudaya, suffering arises from craving. Nirodha, there is a cessation of suffering. And Magga, the path of cessation, is the Eightfold Path. In the Eightfold Path, there is the right view. There is the right intention. There is the right speech. There is the right action. There is the right livelihood. There is the right effort. There is the right mindfulness. There is the right concentration. Through these teachings, the Buddha provided a path not based on divine authority, but on direct insight and ethical living. His teachings appealed to people of all backgrounds, merchants, kings, beggars, and scholars, because they emphasized personal transformation over ritual or caste. His teaching was very compassionate, and he brought the Sangha. The Buddha spent 45 years of his life traveling across northern India, teaching and ordaining monks and nuns. And so this is when he established the Sangha, which is a community of monastics who upheld the Dharma and lived a life of simplicity and meditation. He taught with immense compassion, adapting his teachings to suit the audience. He used parables, he used metaphors, he provoked questions rather than dogma. His presence radiated calm, and his humility attracted followers and skeptics alike. Some of his core ethical precepts included nonviolence, the ahimsa, truthfulness, sexual restraint, avoidance of intoxicants, generosity, and mindfulness, and he encouraged critical thinking, famously stating, "Do not accept my words out of reverence, but test them as you would gold." Death and legacy were up next for the Buddha because he passed away at the age of 80 in Kushangar, lying on his right side under the twin sala trees. His final words were, "All conditioned things are impermanent. Strive diligently." And his death, called the parinirvana marked the final release from the cycle of birth and death. His relics were distributed among followers and enshrined in stupas, becoming pilgrimage sites for centuries. Buddhism spread rapidly across Asia, evolving into multiple schools. Theravada, Mahayana, and the Vajrayana each preserved the essence of the Buddha's teachings while adapting to local cultures. And what can we learn from the Buddha, his short life of 80 years? Well, he offers a timeless wisdom for modern seekers, regardless of your background, your religion. Some key lessons include self-inquiry and inner truth. Rather than relying on external authority, the Buddha encouraged individuals to explore their own minds. Awakening is not given, it is discovered within. He also taught us compassion and nonviolence. The Buddha's life demonstrates the power of compassion over conflict. He taught that even the harshest enemy could be disarmed with kindness. Impermanence and letting go. Understanding the impermanence of all things allows us to loosen our attachments. This, in turn, liberates us from suffering and helps us to embrace the inevitable change that we meet with grace. He also taught us the middle way. In a world of extremes, the Buddha's favorite path was the middle path, and it reminds us to avoid dogma and imbalance. Wisdom arises in balance, not in asceticism or indulgence. Mindfulness and presence. The Buddha also taught us mindfulness is a daily practice, being present, being aware, being awake in each moment. This has inspired therapeutic practices like mindfulness-based stress reduction, MBSR, and has influenced psychology and neuroscience. There's also the universal accessibility of liberation. The Buddha did not reserve enlightenment for elites. He welcomed all, from the prostitutes and the criminals to the kings and the scholars. His message, every being has the potential for awakening. Caste does not matter here. Siddhartha Gautama's life is not just a historical tale, it is a spiritual map, from the palace to the forest, from renunciation to enlightenment, from silence to teaching. The Buddha exemplified a journey of profound transformation. He showed that liberation from suffering is not possible just through belief, but through awareness, ethical living, and deep inner insight. Today, his teachings continue to ripple through the world, guiding millions in mediation and meditation through their halls, their temples, their therapy rooms, their anxiety, their division and the distraction. The Buddha's voice remains clear. Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. By remembering Siddhartha not just as a figure of the past, but as a teacher whose wisdom transcends even time, we honor this legacy, not by worship, but by living it. And so we come to the end, my collective. You're blessed, you're chosen, you're powerful. Please walk forward knowing that the heavens are behind you, that the angels are to your side, and the ancestors are holding you up. Thank you for joining me in this sacred hour. This has been another exciting episode of the Unrelenting Alchemist. Until next time, my friends, walk wisely, walk bravely, and when the dark calls, answer not with fear, but with fire and light. And remember that throughout the impermanence, that you can reach the final release. And if I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I love you.